Can you hear us, Rob? Oh, you're on mute. Okay.
Hi,
I
Rob.
can hear you.
So it's 6:45.
It's 6:43 on the
Okay, well, we do not have a quorum tonight, and it appears that we will not. There is the big meeting over at the high school dealing with Amazon Web Services. And we've not heard from any of the other members of the committee. I'm here.
All right.
So, and you were invited to attend and talk to us. Do you know where that invitation came from?
Nicole wanted me to talk about the options for some of the zoning in your light commercial where you're trying to preserve the residential, but also make some other changes.
So, this is just is it okay with you if we just continue this discussion even though we're not officially meeting?
Well, he doesn't want to do it twice though, right? I mean, like maybe with more members being here, it might be better just to kind of have more members before going through this. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you want?
I don't know how urgent it is for you all. What I could do is if you guys wanted to send me an email or communicate through Nicole about what you were trying to accomplish, I'd be happy to write a memo back to you guys before the next meeting, and then we could discuss it at that meeting. Or however you all want to handle it. I was hoping to get some direction from you guys. And again, maybe you can provide that direction to me in an email that would get us all on our way this evening, if that's what you want, of course. That just was letting me know what you all were trying to accomplish.
I think I need to update Tony on the problem that we've come across that we've been discussing. And if I do that with Tony right now, that'll get you an idea of where we're headed, if that's
Sure.
okay with you. So Tony, we're trying to update the light commercial to exclude housing, it seems. One of the questions is there's so much housing in light commercial, yours included. We want to make sure that those zoning requirements don't prevent you from, say your house burns down or there's some catastrophic loss. We don't want the zoning saying, well, you don't fit the zoning anymore, you can't come back to the house. So we're trying to find the language to specifically grandfather in the housing that exists. One of the questions is we have houses that go back and forth between zoning and between commercial and residential. Ron's house was commercial, is now residential. Is that going to be allowed under the zoning language we're trying to use?
So I thought it was a mixed designation as residential and commercial both.
They're trying to I think they're trying to exclude that to prevent
More houses
being built on Main Street. And that's part of the discussion. So that's where we are with this.
So
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you guys talked about, but like the ratio, like what's the ratio of business versus residential? And is there like something that is out there that we can maybe do a ratio of what is what in the areas? Because I'd like to see more residential because then it will feed the businesses. You'll have people that will be going to the restaurants more when you have it being walkable. You know what I mean? It'd be. So I don't know. I didn't know that you guys were trying to change that.
That's what's on board for the discussion is limiting limiting what happens in this corridor and protecting the houses that exist.
Okay.
And I still think that's part of the discussion, and nobody's voted on any of that. But there are language questions. Does that catch up to the problem we're having?
Yes, and I discussed it with Nicole had let me know about that and explained it to me like that. And the first problem I said was, well, if you change it to no longer allow residential in that district, the current residential districts become what's called non-conforming uses. And so non-conforming uses, you can't expand them. So that's literally and figuratively. So you couldn't, if you wanted to get a zoning permit to do an addition to your house, or you needed a zoning permit to do an addition to your house, and you were in the light commercial district after this amendment, you wouldn't be able to get one. It'd be the structure the structure you have, the residential use that you have, you'd be confined to that. So there were some options. I think on the agenda there was something like an overlay district,
Yes.
and there you could also create an uh, entirely new zoning designation, or at least recommend that to the town council, right? And create an entirely new zoning designation or an overlay that you called something like mineral historic avenue or mineral avenue historic area or something like that, where the residential uses would be preserved and would be allowed, and you wouldn't have the issue of them becoming non-conforming. So that would be my recommendation, would be to either create this overlay district or create just an entirely new zoning designation. Now, the challenge there is I don't have the map in front of me. I mean, is it like business house, some areas through there, because you can't do what's called spot zoning where you're just changing one property among a bunch of others. So I think that's why I was brought in tonight to have that discussion to have you guys say, well, okay, can you look into this option and maybe craft some language or give us some guidance on one option or another.
I think the overlay, I think everybody has a sense of what they would like or a vision of what they'd like. But I don't know that anybody has a real accurate picture of what exists. There's not a lot of empty land. There are big side yards. So potentially someone could, and if that is set up like my lots, I have 8 lots in one house. Someone could sell those extra lots. Well, what happens there? So maybe the overlay district is what does it for us. But I think we need, as you said, we need to know what's there. It is kind of mixed. And it's going to be hard to solve the problem. I think this is in reaction to the houses we put at the end of the street that Tony and I were talking about, that fit in with the zoning said they could do that. So they want to prevent that kind of stuff from happening. It's going to be a long discussion.
I like
Yeah,
what
so
just creating something new. I mean, creating something, I do like the overlay district too, but you know, it might be an opportunity now, knowing what we're really trying to keep out of this corridor, this, you know, the main strip. Just creating something, we already know it's designated as a historic district, and then just kind of maybe creating something to encourage. I thought we want mixed use. We do want businesses, housing, businesses. We want a walkable community that has, you know, doctor's offices and, you know, restaurants, and that's what Gordonsville have. That's what we want to do.
Right
That's
now, Right
it's
now-
helpful.
What were you saying? Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, sorry. It's helpful to hear that Gordonsville has something like that because that gives me a starting point, right, to look at what they've done. I know what a number of other towns have done, but it's always helpful to have an idea of what the body has from a town, somebody that's already done it said we want it to be similar to this. So that gives me a great start to look at Gordonsville. With regards to creating a new district, when you create that new district, you could do things like decrease density and put in some type of architectural review. I mean, you could get it's a balance between accomplishing your goals and overcomplicating, right? So we don't want to make it so someone comes into town or a zoning administrator in the future reads this and reads what you've done and says, oh, I really don't know what to do here when this person's applying for this. Or like I mentioned, architectural review, you're creating an entirely a new body that's got to start approving things, or maybe you want to have that approval go through town council. But I agree that it will be a long discussion and I think it will be a productive one, but we'll just need to get everybody in the same place and get the ideas flowing. And I think it's probably going to be something where we'll have one meeting where I get direction and then another meeting where I come back with suggestions for whether I think an overlay is best or a new district is best, and then any other suggestions like I mentioned about additional approvals required or density or things like that.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. I know that nothing's official because we can't meet. And Stephanie's here waiting for us to go home. So we can go. And
Yes,
so,
sir. No. Yeah, we didn't have an official meeting, but we had a conversation about town business that was recorded, and so everybody knows what our plan is for the next time.
Yes.
Excellent.
All right.
Thank you. Nice meeting you as well. Looking forward to
Yeah,
work with you.
Yeah, great meeting you all. Have a good night and stay cool.
All right.
All right. Bye, Rob.
See you, Stephanie.